Hello, and welcome. Hello, and welcome. Hello, and welcome. I hope that all of you are feeling amazing. I myself, I'm feeling incredible. I've had an amazing weekend. I've managed to get lots of rest. I've managed to also do some studying. And, I've also made preparation, to present this good word to you tonight. I've also had an opportunity to work out and get some exercise as well, so I'm feeling very good. Very, very, very good. You know, if you don't know the name of the artist of that song or that record in particular that I was just playing, this is one of the world's famous and renowned blues singers. And he goes by the name of Bobby Bland. Bobby Blue Bland, that is. You would often see him and B.B. King together. They would make special appearances, or he would make a special appearance when going out with B.B. King. And he is a phenomenal blues singer, and he was born and raised right there in Memphis, Tennessee. Shouts out to Memphis, Tennessee in the building. And this song in particular is very relatable. It's very relatable to the topic that I desire to discuss with you on this beautiful night. Okay. And the name of that song is Blind Man, right? Now, before we get into it any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief summary of what this topic or this discussion is going to be all about. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make implementations, or I'm going to also include other scenarios about the topic, making it versatile, making it a discussion of versatility, allowing the mind to open, allowing the mind to elevate, allowing our minds to absorb this information and all of the details that I present to you as a sponge. And very soon indeed, what I speak to you will make much sense, right? So, to properly introduce myself, I go by the name of Awesome Will. Awesome Will, that is. Okay. Now, let's get right into it, shall we? Now, this is going to be amazing. You hear me? This is going to be amazing, right? And feel free to leave any comments or any remarks regarding this topic or this subject matter. It'll be greatly appreciated. You know what I mean? Your input does matter. You know what I mean? Your interaction does matter. Like I said, be sure to engage. Let's engage on the YouTube platform. So this message or this content will be revealed to those that have been searching high and low for something as such, or something in particular that they can relate to, or something that, they can share with someone else. So, I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to just like the video. Even if you dislike the video, that's fine as well. But the choice is yours. But however, please do one or the other. Like, share the content, or even dislike the content. That's fine as well. But I am very glad to have you here. I am much satisfied, and I hope to see you more often during future releases, or, any other discussions that we may have openly on the YouTube live space. I haven't been creating very much videos or short videos or videos in general because I noticed that there isn't very much engagement. And this requires, to me, much more effort. I decided that I do the faceless page or the faceless content because I'm a low profile kind of person. I don't necessarily desire to be seen. You know, um, that's just my personal preference. I live a private life. I have so. When I changed my profession a bit, that's when I really, really, you know what I mean, just took a step back because it's always been me. You know, to be, you know, in the limelight, and that's not me. I mean, I don't really desire that kind of attention. So I mean, I decided I'd step back. You know what I mean? The faceless page or channel is good for me. You know what I mean? It's something that I appreciate. And my life consists of multiple, activities. So, and I know that it can be a bit upsetting to some of the viewers, but, you know, uh, my life to a certain degree isn't so normal. You know what I mean? And I travel quite a bit as well. And, I just don't feel the need to be too in depth with, my life, my lifestyle, when I'm traveling to what I'm doing, you know, just to bring, content to you, is, a passion, something that I'm passionate about. And I chose to do more live content than to do the videos because, there isn't very much engagement with the videos, so if I upload a live, and something that you like and something that's more appealing, you can listen to it, and it's longer than 15 minutes, longer than 5 minutes or 7 minutes. You can play it back. And if there's a PowerPoint or a strong point or something that you feel you missed, you know, uh, you can always go back. Same thing with the videos, but this is a little bit more extensive, you know, and you can enjoy it, while working out, while driving, and you don't want to shuffle through, multiple videos. That's why I chose, the live streams. So let's get into this interesting topic. I know you've been waiting, and I shall feed you. I shall proceed to give you what you need at this very point, at this very minute, at this very moment. So let's get into it, right? This is going to be good, guys. You hear me? This is going to be good. So let's get into it. The ancient tale of the blind man, origins before the Bible. The tale of the blind man is a powerful narrative that has appeared in religious, mythological, and philosophical traditions long before its well known versions in the Bible. Stories of blindness, whether literal or metaphorical, have existed in ancient civilizations across Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, India, and beyond. These tales often carry themes of wisdom, punishment, enlightenment, or divine intervention, shaping cultural perspectives on sight and insight. In this YouTube Live, we will look close into the origins of the blind man tale before the Bible, uncovering how ancient myths, epics, or folklore influenced later religious texts by incorporating precise key factors such as ancient mythology, blind man legend, biblical inspiration, Greek myths, Mesopotamian folklore, and religious symbolism. We will trace the fascinating evolution of this timeless story, bringing us to the blind man in ancient Mesopotamian mythology. The epic of Gilgamesh and the blind sage One of the earliest recorded stories of blindness comes from Mesopotamian mythology, particularly in the Epic of Gilgamesh, circa 2100 BCE. Though not the central focus of the epic, blindness plays a symbolic role in the character of Unapishtim, a Noah-like figure granted immortality. Some scholars believe that early oral traditions may have contained versions of a blind prophet or seer whose wisdom came from his lack of physical sight, but deepened spiritual vision. Come on now, come on, check it out. Another connection to blindness in Mesopotamian folklore comes from in Meduranki. In the Meduranki, a legendary king of Slipar who was believed to have received divine knowledge from the gods. Some interpretations suggest that in earlier versions of this tale, in Medranki might have suffered blindness as part of his mystical transformation, much like later Greek and biblical seers. You see where it's going? Check it out now. Stay with me. The curse of the blind in Sumerian texts. In Sumerian texts, blindness was often linked to divine punishment. Mhm. Some stories described gods inflicting blindness upon mortals who transgress sacred laws. This theme of blindness as divine retribution echoes throughout history, appearing in later biblical stories such as the blinding of the Apostle Paul before his conversation. Remember that? The Christian slayer. Remember that? Paul the Apostle, right? Check it out. Egyptian mythology. The blind seer and the eye of who? Horus. The tale of Horus and Set. Ancient Egyptian mythology, circa 3000 BCE, also features stories of blindness, particularly in the battle between Horus and Set. In this myth, Set, the god of chaos, gouges out the eye of Horus, symbolizing the loss of vision and divine power. However, Horus's eye is later restored by Thoth or Thoth or Thoth, the god of wisdom, signifying spiritual enlightenment and renewal. While this story does not involve a blind man per se, it sets a precedent for later narratives in which blindness is connected to wisdom, justice, and restoration. Key themes that appear in both Greek mythology and biblical texts. You hear that? We're getting warmer. Check it out. The blind seer of Egypt. Egyptian literature also features figures resembling the blind prophet motif, like the keyboard, right? Some scholars suggest that Egyptian priests who served as intermediaries between gods and people may have inspired later literary blind seers. These priests were often depicted as possessing special knowledge or prophetic abilities, reinforcing the idea that blindness could be a symbol of spiritual insight rather than a mere physical alignment. Check it out. Greek mythology, the blind prophet and divine wisdom. Tiresias, right? The most famous blind seer. Tiresias, right? Tiriasias. One of the most well-known blind figures in Greek mythology is Tiresias, the blind prophet of Thebes. His story originating in Homeric and classical Greek literature circa 8th through 5th century BCE, deeply influenced later religions and philosophical thought. Tiresias's blindness has multiple origin stories. One version states that he was struck blind by the goddess Athena after accidentally witnessing her bathing. Ain't that so? Check it out. Another version claims that Hera blinded him after he sided with Zeus in an argument about gender experiences. Despite his blindness, Tiresias was granted the gift of prophecy, right? Okay, demonstrating the recurring theme of sight beyond sight, a profound inner vision compensating for physical blindness. This concept heavily influenced later biblical stories, particularly in the New Testament, where Jesus heals the blind, but also speaks about spiritual blindness versus true understanding. And you can find this in Matthew 15:14 and John 9:39, right? Check it out. The Odyssey, the blind bard, Demodocus, right? Demodocus, right? The Odyssey, the blind bard, Demodocus. Homer's Odyssey, circa 8th century BCE, features another blind character, Demodocus, a bard who sings of the gods and heroes. His blindness is considered a divine gift, allowing him to perceive truths others cannot. This aligns with the ancient belief that blindness could lead to enhanced spiritual or intellectual abilities. It's not always what it looks like, right? A concept that later biblical texts could adopt in their depictions of blind figures. Now, moving on, check this out. Indian mythology and blindness and the Vedas. King Dhritarashtra or Dhritarashtra, right? King Dhritarashtra in the Mahabharata in Indian mythology, particularly in the epic Mahabharata, that's what it is, circa 4th century BCE. The theme of blindness is central to the character king, Dhritarashtra, the blind ruler of the Kuru dynasty. His physical blindness mirrors his moral and ethical blindness, as he failed to prevent the destructive war between the Pandavas and Kauravas. Unlike some of the Greek and Mesopotamian stories where blindness grants wisdom, Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra or Dhrashtra's blindness is symbolic of his inability to see the consequences of his actions, reinforcing the idea that true sight is not just physical, but also moral. Come on now. It's not only physical, but also moral. Check it out. The blind sage, Durgatamas, Durgatamas, right? The blind sage Durgatamas, another important figure in Indian mythology, is the blind sage Durgatamas, mentioned in the Rig Veda. Despite his blindness, he is revered for his wisdom and spiritual insight, much like Tiresias in Greek tradition. His story suggests that the concept of the blind, wise man was widely accepted in various ancient cultures, emphasizing the idea that physical sight is secondary to inner knowledge. Come on, man. You don't have to see something to actually get it. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to actually envision something or actually physically see something to see it. You dig what I'm saying? You can see it from within. I see it like this, or I feel like this. The heart has eyes too. The soul has eyes too, right? And what you manage and the mind, right? The mind definitely has an eye, right? So let's go. Let's go to the next one. Pre-biblical connections to the blind man theme, right? Pre-biblical connections to the blind man theme. Common themes in ancient blindness narratives, as we have seen stories of blind men existed long before biblical time, appearing in Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Greek, and Indian traditions. The recurring themes in these stories include blindness as divine punishment. It can be a blessing, yet it can also be a curse, right? Blindness as divine punishment, found in Mesopotamian and Egyptian myths, later echoed in biblical accounts, right? Blindness as spiritual light or spiritual insight, central to Greek and Indian mythology, influencing biblical ideas of true vision beyond the physical, right? Healing and restoration, found in the myth of Horus and later in Jesus's miracles of restoring sight or restoring sight, influence on the Bible. When we examine biblical stories of blindness, such as Bartimaeus, blind Bartimaeus, remember that one? Or have you heard of that one, blind Bartimaeus or Bartimaeus? In the New Testament, Mark 10, 46 through 52, or the blinding of Saul, or Paul, Acts 9, 1 through 18. We can see direct influences from these earlier traditions. The Bible adopts, did you hear that? The Bible adopts and reinterprets these pre-existing narratives, incorporating blindness as both a symbolic and literal theme in religious teachings. Now, to wrap this part up, or to wrap this portion up, I'm gonna lay this on you, right? The tale of the blind man is an ancient and universal narrative, predating the Bible by thousands of years. Mesopotamian folklore, Egyptian mythology, Greek epics, and Indian scriptures all contained stories of blind figures who either suffered divine punishment or gained extraordinary insight. How did they do that? How did they blind, but they receive extraordinary insight? How is that even possible? Right? It's good. It's good. Hey, it gets good. Come on with me. These early myths laid the foundation for later religious stories, demonstrating that the theme of blindness was deeply ingrained in human culture long before its biblical interpretations. Whether seen as a curse, a gift, or a path to spiritual enlightenment, the blind man's tale remains one of the most profound and enduring stories in history. By understanding the ancient roots of this narrative, we gain greater insight into how myths evolve, influence each other, and shape the way we interpret wisdom, faith, and perception across different civilizations. Right? This is amazing. Now we're talking about who? The blind man, right? Now, the blind man, Ozempic or Ozempic blindness, right? Let me better explain to you what Ozempic blindness is. But it all begins with Ozempic. The Ozempic comes before the actual blindness, right? Now, let's get into it. Ozempic, a medication primarily prescribed for type 2 diabetes management and weight loss, has recently been associated with a rare but serious eye condition known as non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy, or neuropathy, right? NAION, NAION. This condition can lead to sudden vision loss or blindness. I'm about to take you there. I'm telling you, I'm about to take you there. Ride with me. Understanding the potential link between Ozempic and NAION is crucial for patients and healthcare. What's the key word? Understanding, overstand, understand. But what? You must first understand. And by you having an understanding, right, you'll then have a better idea, understanding of the potential link between what? Ozempic and NAION, realizing that it is crucial for patients and healthcare providers. Why? Because they must make you or the individual must make informed decisions about its use. That's why it's crucial. It's crucial for patients and healthcare providers to make informed decisions about its use. Now, let's get further in depth into what Ozempic is. Ozempic is the brand name for semaglutide, SEMAGLUTIDE. Semaglutide, a glucogen like peptide, right? Or peptide 1, PEPTIDE, right? A receptor agonist. It functions by, how does it function? It functions by stimulating insulin secretion, inhibiting glucogen release, and slowing gastric emptying, thereby aiding in blood sugar control and weight management. Due to its efficacy or efficacy, right? Efficacy, that's what it is, efficacy. Ozempic has gained popularity not only among individuals with type 2 diabetes, but also among those seeking weight loss solutions. Now, it brings us to this. Understanding NAION. N as in Nancy, A as in apple, I as an intelligent, O as an octopus, N as in Nancy. NAION, right? Non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy. Neuropathy, right? Is a condition characterized by the sudden onset of vision lost in one eye. Not both, but one eye, typically occurring upon waking. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? To go blind as soon as you awaken from your slumber. You awaken from your slumber and you go blind, at least in one eye. That's just the start of it, right? Now, this vision loss is painless. Losing an eye is painful, right? When you think about the value of that eye, right? But you lose your sight with absolutely no feeling at all, not realizing it. You realize it, but during the action of you slumbering or the action of you getting the proper rest or relaxation or sleep, shortly thereafter, as you awaken from your slumber, you then and only then realize that you've lost sight or you've lost vision in one of your eyes. And it had absolutely no feeling. You had absolutely no feeling. It was absolutely painless. I'm going somewhere with this now. Check it out, right? This vision loss is painless, but often permanent. Why is it permanent? You can't feel this pain, but yet it's permanent, right? Neon results from insufficient blood flow to the optic nerve. What is it caused by? Insufficient blood flow to the what? Optic nerve, leading to nerve fiber damage, right? Risk factors for developing neon include age over 50, number one. Number two, diabetes. Number three, hypertension. Number four, high cholesterol. Number five, sleep apnea. Number six, smoking. Now, the exact mechanisms causing neon are not fully understood, but it is believed that compromised blood flow to the optic nerve plays a central role. Lack of blood flow to the optic nerve being compromised, right? I'm telling you, I'm telling you, walk with me, right? Okay. Potential link between Ozempic and neon. Recent studies have suggested a potential association between semaglutide or semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic, and an increased risk of developing neon. A study led by Mass Eye and Ear found that patients prescribed semaglutide for diabetes or weight loss had a higher risk of developing neon compared to those not on the medication. Come on now. Using everything to supplement what we actually feel within. Using all of the masks that we can choose or select in efforts to disguise what we really feel or to disguise who we really are, right? Those are the ones, or we are the ones that are prone to or subject to, we as people, neon, losing sight of who we truly are as individuals, developing neon because we're prescribed everything else but what we really need, right? Compared to who? Those not on medication, right? Specifically, individuals with diabetes were more than 4 times as likely to be diagnosed with neon while those using semaglutide for weight loss were over 7 times more likely to develop the condition. Hmm? Right? Excuse me. Another study from Denmark and Norway reported that users of semaglutide or semaglutide were more than twice as likely to develop NAION compared to those using other type 2 diabetes medications. Despite these findings, the absolute risk remains low, with only 32 cases reported among over 60,000 individuals studied. Possible mechanisms behind the association. While the exact cause of the association between Ozempic and NAION is definitive, not definitive, not definitively, wow, that color, definitively established, several hypotheses have been proposed. Number one, blood flow alterations. Semaglutide may influence vascular health and blood flow, potentially contributing to ischemic events in predisposed individuals. Number two, blood sugar fluctuations. Rapid improvements in blood sugar control can lead to changes in the eye's blood vessels, possibly triggering NAION in susceptible individuals. Inflammatory responses. GLP-1 receptor agonists like semaglutide have been associated with anti-inflammatory or inflammatory effects, which might paradoxically affect blood flow to the optic nerve in individuals, certain individuals, right? Now, this is coming from an expert opinion and their recommendations also, right? Expert opinions and recommendations. Recommendations, check it out. Medical experts emphasize that while these findings are noteworthy, they do not establish a direct causal relationship or causal relationship between Ozempic and NAION. Dr. Andrew Lee, a neuropathy or neurophthalmologist, neurophthalmologist, stated, "It is premature to conclude that the association is a causal association. More research is necessary to test the hypothesis." Patients currently taking Ozempic or considering its use should not be unduly alarmed, but are advised to, number one, monitor vision changes. Be vigilant for any sudden changes in vision, such as blurriness or vision loss, and report them promptly to a healthcare provider. Regular eye, number two, examinations. Schedule routine eye exams to detect any early signs of optic nerve issues. Discuss risk factors. Consult with healthcare providers about individual risk factors for NAION and weigh the benefits and potential risks of continuing or initiating Ozempic therapy. And this is to sum it up. In conclusion, while recent studies have highlighted a potential link between Ozempic and the rare eye condition neon, the overall risk remains low. Patients should remain informed, monitor their vision, and maintain open communication with their healthcare providers to ensure the safe use of Ozempic. Ongoing research will continue to shed light on this association, helping to guide further or future clinical recommendations. Affecting the optic nerve, something being absolutely painless. And it often occurs when one awakens from their sleep or from their slumber. And it often happens to one eye, right? So, what is your current issue? What is our current issue regarding regarding optics? Is an optometrist needed for your condition? Or is God Almighty needed for your condition? Hmm? Right? Now, here's another example of a blind man. And maybe your Ozempic blindness could be from the loss of an individual in your life. Maybe there was a bad breakup. You decided to part and go your separate ways. Or maybe they left and just never gave you a reason why. Or maybe you were divorced and never given a reason why. Maybe you were hurt and don't understand why. Maybe you were lied to and don't understand why. Or maybe you were lied on and don't understand why. Maybe you're making all the right moves with the wrong people. So if you're making all the right moves with the wrong people, then your motion or your movement could potentially be wrong as well, right? That's something to think about. Could that be your Ozempic blindness? You're around people that take from you, that steal from you, that envy you, but you're Ozempically blind to all of the things that are going on around you. But this situation or this case scenario, we're talking about the blind man and someone that he so truly loved and desired and cared for, an individual that he absolutely lived for, forgetting about oneself, forgetting about himself, feeling so low. The pressures of the world is weighing on his shoulders, weighing on him. These lyrics are so touching. To care about a person so much that you forget about yourself. That's beyond love to me. That's insanity. Many may say, well, man, they're just lyrics. Yeah, they're lyrics. But a lot of what is said and expressed within this lyric or within these lyrics are true. Are true. Now, what I'm going to present to you, this very moment is, or are the lyrics of a very, very talented, one of the great legendary blues singers, Bobby Blue Bland from Memphis, Tennessee. And these lyrics, you must hear and digest what I'm reading to you. It's deep. When I say it's deep, it's deep. And the song is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely beautiful if you were to ever, listen to it. Whenever you get the time and availability, to go on YouTube and hear the entire song, listen to the entire song. It's a classic. You'll definitely enjoy it. But check it out. The lyrics goes something like this. Blind man, standing on the corner, cry out the blues, said, I don't need a dollar, and don't you give me a dime until you bring that little girl of mine. I can't let her go. I'm hooked. I can't let her go. People try to tell me, stop crying and find you someone new. Because when that good Lord made one woman, hallelujah, don't you know he made two? But I can't let her go. I'm hooked. I can't let her go. I can't let her go. Lord, I can't let her go. He lifted up his head toward heaven, as he should, and said, good Lord, I'd rather die than to let a no good, cheating woman make me stand on the corner and cry. Right? Lord knows I'm living in a world of darkness, but that don't bother me. And until I find that sweet little girl of mine, Lord knows I just don't want to see. But I can't let her go. Lord, I'm hooked. I can't let her go. Lord, I can't let her go. Won't somebody please help the blind me? Lord, won't somebody please help the blind me? I can't let her go. I'm hooked. I can't let her go. Isn't that amazing? This situation that he had has brought him to ruins. And what's even more critical about what he's experiencing at that current moment, or within this lyrics, or within these lyrics, as he described the blind man, he can attest to his blindness. He can attest to his condition, but love won't allow him to accept it for what it truly is. He knows that this particular person isn't good for him. Because why? He's standing on a corner, waiting for her to return. And catch this. The deepest thing about this lyric is he doesn't want his eyesight back. He doesn't want any money. He doesn't want anything. He needs help. He needs help, but he doesn't want anyone to give him any money. Right? He doesn't even care to have his eyesight back. If he could just find somebody that will go and find this particular person for him, he'll be fine. His situation is dark. He's feeling dark within. He's filled with gloom within. As he cries out to God or to the Lord, right? But he's content with it. He's okay with it because all he cares about is that person. Now, knowing that this person ain't no good for him because they wouldn't want to see him in that kind of condition. They wouldn't want to see him in those conditions, right? But there's always two sides to a story and one truth. Maybe it's just obsession. Maybe she was vocal about leaving. Or she probably mentioned it on several occasions, or they mentioned it on several occasions. And when they finally found the opportunity to get away from it, that's what happened. They finally left, right? But he's blind. He's blind. And the only help he wants or needs at this particular point in his life, is the help of somebody to find her. If I could just use your eyes just for a minute, or however long it takes, I don't need no money. I just need your eyes. He has his own, although he's blind. But he's not opening up his heart. He's not opening up his mind. He's not using his emotional intelligence. He's not using his heart compass, right? Because that's where the gift truly is, right? And it speaks of it in the Bible. It speaks of it in Egyptian tales. It speaks of it in Mesopotamian tales. It speaks of it in Indian tales, right? Ancient tales, to be exact. Although they had no sight, they had spiritual gifts, spiritual talents, right? Now, I'm going to take you to this. That was his Ozempic blindness, the individual that left him, right? Now, what I like to do is provide to you some examples of blindness. These forms of blindness stem from psychological, social, and even biological factors that influence human perception and decision making. Now, why don't we look further into each of these that I'm going to detail for you, right? Number one, blindness, right? Maybe this is you. Maybe this is your Ozempic blindness. And sometimes it can be blindness that is harmful to self, because although you're blind, you you don't desire to see in your personal life, right? Now, number one, blindness to self gratifying or fulfilling opportunities. Come on now. Blindness to self gratifying or fulfilling opportunities. What are the signs of this? What are the symptoms of this particular Ozempic blindness in your life that you choose to be stagnated and not move forward, or stagnant and not move forward? I'll tell you what they are. Fear of change. Many people prefer comfort over growth. It don't matter what you lose. It don't matter what you have. It don't matter what you don't have. You're fearless though, right? But this is what's hindering you at this very moment, at this particular point in your life. Because change, there's nothing comfortable about change. There's nothing comfortable about true growth, right? Fear of change. Many people prefer comfort over growth, even if it means missing out on rewarding opportunities. Even if you create the opportunity yourself, you better make a move on. It don't matter what you lose. It only matters about what you gain. And if you have nothing to lose, why not make the move so that you shall, or that you can gain? Hmm? Now, limiting beliefs, deep seated or deep rooted doubts of past failures can make people believe they are unworthy or incapable of achieving success. What kind of success do you desire? Hmm? What kind of success do you desire? Those small wins that you make, that little progression that you make, those are the greatest wins that a person could ever have, because it's more about your wins. You don't need the validation of anyone else. You say, well, hey, I just purchased me a car. You know what I mean? I just got me an Audi. I just got me a Cadillac. I just got me a Chevy truck. You know what I mean? Hey, man, it's a 2000 Monte Carlo. It don't matter. You didn't have that. You didn't have that a couple of months ago. You said, well, I'm going to go to work, get me a job, I'm going to hustle and I'm going to grind and I'm going to do the independent thing, and see what I could come up with. You know what I mean? And you kept it positive and you accomplished your goal, right? That's a big win. Ain't nothing small about that. There's nothing small about that. Why? Because you're not out here to impress nobody. And if you are, it's still a great win for you. Because why? You did it for you. Even if you felt the need to do it because you want to be praised for it by other people, it's something that you did because you felt the need to do it. And it's a win for you. It don't matter how nobody else sees it. It's a win for you. It's something that you achieved. It's something that you accomplished. It's something that makes you feel good within. It's something that's self-gratifying. It makes you feel good. Or it was something that you needed and you managed to attain that very thing because you were driven. You were driven, you were motivated, you were encouraged, and you got it done, right? You achieved success. Now, another Ozempic blindness that many of you, or that some of us may have also. And this is very, very, very vital. This is vital to the title. This is very vital to one's life, right? Lack of awareness. Lack of awareness. Sometimes people don't recognize an opportunity because they have never been taught how to see it or take advantage of it. Very true. It's right there in your face, but you don't know what to do with it. That woman that you've been wanting, or that woman, that particular woman that you've been looking for to settle down with, get married, to have children, and just live it up with, she possessed all the qualities that you ever wanted in a woman. But because you've been messing around with all the women that don't matter because they're more accessible, you don't have to do as much fighting to get to this woman. The woman that you truly need and desire, and she desires you the same. You don't even see her. You don't even see her. She does everything that you would ever want. A good woman, an incredible woman to ever do. Give back rubs, cook, clean, responsible, good with money. You know what I'm saying? You might be good with bread too. You know what I'm saying? Innovative, brilliant thinker, brilliant mind, God-fearing woman. You know what I mean? The submissive type. Don't have to force it on her. You know what I mean? Everything that you desire within a woman. Same thing with a woman. A protector, a provider, hardworking, You know what I mean? Emotionally intelligent, intelligent, responsible, loving, caring, would make a great father, great genetics, if you would ever have a child with him, etc. But looking right past it. And if you aren't looking past it, you're afraid to make the move. You're afraid to get in the way, to stop him in his tracks. So you're more visible, especially if he's a busy man or a highly successful man. You know, his options are many. You know, so maybe this, another. I'm going to another one. Maybe this is your Ozempic blindness. This is a good one. Overwhelming distractions. Daily responsibilities and stress can make people too busy or preoccupied to notice good opportunities. Now, we're going to number two. Blindness. I just spoke on it. Blindness to emotional intelligence. Lack of self-reflection. Many people are not taught to analyze their emotions or understand others deeply. Cultural and social conditioning. Cultural and social conditioning. Some cultures prioritize intellect or material success over emotional growth. Come on now. Is it not true? Is it not true? Cultural and social conditioning. Some cultures, not all, but some cultures prioritize intellect or material success over emotional growth. This is a good one. Ego and defensiveness. People may resist emotional intelligence because it requires being vulnerable. It requires vulnerability and accountability. Cognitive biases. Humans naturally see things from their perspective and may struggle to empathize with others. Number three, maybe this. Maybe this could be a contribution to your blindness. Number three, blindness to true love and its misuse. Romantic idolization. Check this out. Movies and media portray love as intense passion rather than deep connection, leading people to mistake infatuation for love. Am I right? Am I right about it? Am I right about it? The blindness to true love and its misuse, romantic idolizations, movies and media. Movies and media portray love as intense passion rather than deep connection, leading people to mistake infatuation for love. There's no love there. There's no true love there. It's just infatuation. That's all it is. It isn't love. It's the thought of being with you in whatever formality or in whatever desired way they would like or wish to be with you. It could just be holding hands and kicking cans. There's an infatuation of doing that particular thing with you. It could be just your smile. It could be just the way that, let's be real, the way you put it down in the bedroom. They don't like you. They don't care about you. They just care about the things you do to them in the bedroom. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. You know what I mean? It's an infatuation. And it can be like this too. They don't like you. They don't even care about you. All they care about is someone else being with you. They don't want nobody else with you. They don't like you. And man, believe it or not, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've actually had women in the past. I've actually had women to tell me they did me a favor. Why do you say that? Yeah, all the women that you were with before, they did me a favor. I know you wasn't doing them like you be doing me. Like, I know for a fact you wasn't doing what you know what I mean? Doing them like you doing me. Say they stupid. I'm glad they ain't, you know what I mean? I'm glad you ain't messing with them no more. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, like you went crazy, man. I'm glad they ain't messing with you no more. You know what I mean? And in my personal opinion, I felt that it was just infatuation. It was more about what they can receive from me sexually. A carnivore, you know what I'm saying? The way I sex them in the bedroom. They didn't truly care about me. And I'm gonna tell you too, life as an entertainer, being a part of entertainment for multiple years, I kind of grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of grew up around it. My family, everyone used to acclaim. And one thing for sure, it comes with many pics of the litter, especially if you're a lead singer, you're a dynamic singer, or on top of that, very talented. When it comes to the women, you pretty much have the pick of the litter. And for many reasons, and that being, or this being one of the reasons why, I've, I kind of cut back on having multiple partners and stuff like that. Even when I was younger, I didn't really have a whole lot of partners, sexually at once because, I understand I'm a machine, but I'm not a machine. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, we as men, we can be hardcore, we be in our masculine, you know what I'm saying? Our masculine frame. But at the same time, I am somebody. You know what I mean? I am somebody. I ain't just your boy toy. You know what I'm saying? I'm more. I'm more than just that. You know, women feel that they can be used, men can be used too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Men can be used too. And I'm not just some cheap thrill. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I'm a man and you feel that I'm supposed to move and act in a way that you're used to most men being with you, but I'm not that. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? I know you want to give me some or you want to, be intimate with me, but, you know, I think I'm a pass on this one, because it's infatuation. You're just infatuated with who I am, what I do for a living, my talent. You see me going places. You know what I mean? So that's why you want to do what you want to do. It's not that you truly, genuinely care about me. You know, you see all of these people talking to me. You see all these people, you see me traveling, you know what I'm saying? And going to different places to perform and sing, and you see me going places. You don't truly like me for me. And I know this. You looking for a way out. And you hoping that I'll be your golden ticket out. You know what I mean? So if you gotta sex me as much as you possibly can and swindle me into thinking that you truly love me and care about me, you can forget about that. Because I've been in this game too long, you know what I mean? And I ain't no cheap thrill, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, most men don't want to admit it, but I have feelings too. I have feelings too. You know what I mean? And I ain't finna be played with. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I have a choice in the matter. You know what I mean? I ain't finna play myself like that. You crazy? I'm somebody. I ain't just a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? And although it might be good, you know what I'm saying? I'm more than that, you know? So, yeah, I can relate to that for sure. I can relate to that for sure. And, that's what periodically, like I said, go multiple months at a time, without having sex, even as a youngster, in my 20s, my early 20s, you know what I'm saying? For that reason, you know, for that reason, I want you to take me serious. I don't want you to just, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just about what I do, as an occupation. You know what I'm saying? I come with more than that. You know what I'm saying? So people people make mistakes by mistaking infatuation for love. And in most cases, that's what it was. Infatuation with me being a singer, a vocalist, a musician. That's what it was. It's not that they genuinely cared about me. It was more about me being in a position that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? A position that I was in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was infatuation. And like I said, it could be for many reasons other than the occupation or what you do. You being a vocalist, I mean, people become infatuated for multiple reasons. It could be down to the very way that you talk or speak. You know what I mean? Just become infatuated. They don't love you. They just like the way you whisper sweet nothings in the ear. You know what I'm saying? They just like the way you talk to them. Except, vice versa. Now, trauma and attachment issues. Childhood wounds or past toxic relationships can make people misinterpret love, mistaking control or codependency for real affection. Fear of being alone. Fear of being alone. Maybe this is your Ozempic blindness. People sometimes settle for the wrong person rather than risk loneliness. Come on, man. Come on now. People sometimes risk settling for the wrong person than to be lonely. People sometimes settle for the wrong person rather than risk loneliness. Here's another one. Ooh, this is powerful. Lack. Lack of what? Self-worth. Some believe they don't deserve true love, so they accept less than they should. Come on, man. Come on, man. Have you ever met a woman? Have you ever met a woman, man, that it seems like okay, have you ever met a female, right? And you know it's because she lacked self-worth. Because you have some women, man, you can treat them well. You can treat them like gold, man. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do everything, man, they possibly can. You know what I mean? To sabotage the relationship. And you can only ask yourself, like, why? Like, why? You know, why was she? And man, I'm gonna tell you, being too nice. Some women don't like that, man. Being too nice. Mm-mm. Nobody. You better not be too nice. You know what I'm saying? You gotta first discover who you're dealing with. And some don't want to change. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to most men treating them like trash. That's all they ever seen. That's all they understand. They conditioned. You see what I'm saying? So here you go, or here you are coming into the situation, or you meet her. You like, oh yeah, baby, you know what I mean? And you want to be, you can be a gentleman, but you being too much of a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? See, you opening doors for, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna be mean. I was gonna say something. I was gonna be mean today. But see, you opening car doors for, you know what I mean? When she used to somebody closing her in them. You know what I'm saying? She used to somebody closing her limbs indoors. So, you know, you gonna be too nice. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be too nice for her. You ain't gonna be the pick for her. You know what I'm saying? You being all nice and kind and gentle, and you know, you treating her like a lady. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, you gonna get trampled over. You gonna get trampled over treating that particular woman like that, man. Because she ain't built like that. You know, she used to fight. You know what I'm saying? Getting punched in the stomach. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. I mean, getting spit on. You know what I'm saying? You can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said in the previous video, it'll be best that you just remove yourself from that situation because you're gonna get hurt. You trying to be too nice and you trying to be nice, and that just might be who you are naturally as an individual. You know what I'm saying? But man, listen, you come in there smiling and you leave with a frown because she ruined your life. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's not that she ruined your life. You allowed her to. You just couldn't handle her. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't handle that kind of woman, man. So now, now you now you in the jam. You looking crazy. You know what I mean? Now you bitter. Now you hate women. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, you know, men, man, can have a sexual, you know, preference change or a change of preference. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to me, not to get off topic, but you know, you can't, my personal opinion, you can't blame no female, man, for you saying that you're gonna go on to the other side. You were hurt so bad by a female that you feel that now you just want to date men. That's baloney, man. That's foolishness. That's foolishness, man. Everybody in some form of fashion has been hurt, right? Now, this is the feminine. This is a female, right? What you think a man gonna do for you? You know, I mean, people are into what they are into. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not disrespecting nobody. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. You were with a female, right? And you've been hurt so bad by a female, you decide that you want to date men now. Come on, man. And you think you ain't gonna run into the same situation? You might not, but I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Same thing with women. I hate to see it. You know, I hate to see it. You know what I mean? And sometimes I could almost be jealous. I'd be like, man, this woman, man, this girl is gorgeous, man. She is too beautiful for this. Man, she need to come on back over here. You know what I'm saying? She need to come back on this side of the fence. You dig what I'm saying? Like, man, what she got going on? You know what I mean? Like, man, what kind of junk is this? You know what I'm saying? And I can get angry when I see stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, who hurt her so bad to the point that she want to date women? You know what I'm saying? And women only. Like, come on now. You know what I mean? There's some real guys over here, over here on this side, but you want to keep it over there, though. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Whatever. But not to get off topic, but lack of self-worth, right? And this is a very, very, very important blindness to spiritual discernment, the optic nerve. How is your blood flow? Is the blood flow to your optic nerve allowing you the spiritual discernment or awakening, right? That you don't go blind, right? But maybe this is your particular blindness to spiritual discernment or awakening. Ego and material distractions. The physical world often pulls attention away from spiritual growth. Lack of inner stillness without quiet reflection or mindfulness, spiritual awareness remains inaccessible. How is your pullback game? Going into a state of loneliness, getting closer to self, getting closer to God, becoming more spiritual, or even if there's just a regimen or if there's just a ritual that you do, that of positivity, a sacred prayer. You know what I mean? Even breathing exercise, meditation, right? Is that what you're lacking? Hmm? Why? Why are you lacking? Ego and material distractions. The physical world often pulls attention away from spiritual growth. The familiar saying, everything that glitter ain't gold. Hmm? Everything that glitters ain't gold, right? And you don't know that it's fool's gold, or you don't know that it's fake jewelry, right? Why? Because you distracted. Your ego getting in the way. You don't have think. You don't have time to think. You don't have any solitude. So you ain't thinking straight because everything happening just like this. Just like this. Your pullback game ain't strong enough. So things that you need to see, things that you should hear, you aren't seeing nor are you hearing them because you are distracted by everything that don't matter. You matter more than anything, but you're not taking time out for self, spirituality, personal development, none of that because you're distracted and your ego won't allow you to pull back and focus on self, to build muscle, the muscle of the mind, the muscle of a plan, the muscle of a strategy, being strategic in all your ways. Right? Ego and material distraction. The physical world often pulls attention away from spiritual growth. Lack of inner stillness. You all over the place within, right? Lack of inner stillness. Without quiet reflection or mindfulness, spiritual awareness remains inaccessible. Fear, here's another good one. Fear of the unknown. Spiritual awakening often requires stepping outside conventional beliefs. Do you hear that? Spiritual awakening often requires stepping outside conventional beliefs, which can be unsettling. Cultural or religious dogma. Rigid belief systems can sometimes block personal spiritual discoveries. Come on now. Number 5. This is a good one. Blindness to compatibility in relationships. Let's say it again. Business or personal, right? Either way, it's plural, more than one. Relationships, right? Number 5, blindness to compatibility in relationship. So where does it all begin? Where does it all start? I'll tell you. Chemistry versus compatibility. Many mistake physical attraction or excitement, like I was saying before. Many mistake physical attraction or excitement for long-term suitability. And that's all there was. Attraction, excitement, how you make them feel sexually, how you make them feel mentally. When they need that fix mentally, they want to come around. You know what I'm saying? They want to call. They want to text. Right? When they all toe up, you know what I mean? When they all toe up, now they want to call you and, and want to text you because you make them feel better. You know what I mean? They want to come by and spend time with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna lay it down. And, you make all of it go away. You know what I mean? But in actuality, I mean, you cool with that. But in actuality, you know they don't care about you like that. You know what I mean? This is just an example now, right? Now, chemistry versus compatibility. Many mistake physical attraction or excitement for long-term suitability. And they know that it'll never work that way. At least not with you, right? Because why? You are a man of standards. You are a woman of standards, right? This is a powerful. And I expressed this in a previous, YouTube live. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Some people see what they want in a partner rather than who they really are. You get that? Some people see what they want in a partner rather than who they really are. Here's another one. And man, it's deep. Unresolved personal issues. Unresolved personal issues. Emotional wounds can cause people to drown or to be drawn to unhealthy dynamics. Just like I was saying about the guy being too nice, trying to be too nice to a wounded individual or a wounded woman. She gonna drag it. You know what I mean? She gonna drag it. Being too nice. And you got something that'll tell you, you too nice. You can't be nice to me like this. You too nice. It's unattractive to someone, right? Why? Because some of those individuals or some of those women, they have unresolved personal issues, and emotional wounds can cause people to be drawn to unhealthy dynamics. Abusive relationships, that's what they used to. People dogging them out, that's what they used to. You know what I'm saying? That's what they used to. Unhealthy dynamics, right? Societal. Ooh, this is ooh. This is a good one too. Societal and family pressure. External expectations can lead people to choose partners based on status, looks, or convenience rather than deep compatibility. Would you like a deeper dive into any of these topics? If so, let me know. Right? So, we discussed the Ozempic. We discussed Bobby Blue Bland of Memphis, Tennessee, the legendary blues singer of Memphis, Tennessee. Blind man. We also discussed Ozempic blindness. And if there's anything that you would like to add to this topic, or if there's anything that you would like to ask me, feel more than welcome and more than free than to leave a comment. It'd be greatly appreciated also if you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And also share this content. I have really enjoyed myself in this live. And I hope that you have as well. This is Awesome Will here, and I have just covered for you the ancient tale of the blind man, origins before the Bible. Blind man, Ozempic blindness. Is that really what it is? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is it really, or is it truly Ozempic blindness in your life? Until next time, thanks for watching and enjoy.